My last video talked about Roth conversions, what they are, and when they might make sense. Now, once you've met with your client and you and the client have decided that the Roth conversion is something they would like to do, there is a little bit of a process in order to do that. It's actually a lot simpler than most people might think. There are two options for Roth conversions. You can do a total Roth conversion, and this recharacterizes the entire qualified account in a single tax year. Or you can do a partial Roth conversion. This means that a percentage or a certain dollar amount of your qualified account gets sent over to a Roth account and is recharacterized as after-tax dollars. Now, for larger accounts, we recommend this may be done systematically over a period of tax years to spread out that tax liability. We talked about it a little bit in video 1, but this is where it's very important for the tax professional to be involved to determine how it's going to affect their current tax liability, their tax bracket, and their future tax liability. We do not recommend that you give tax advice, but once they've decided to do the conversion, this is the process that you would use. So there's internal Roth conversions, and these can be, again, total or partial. This is when all or a portion of the qualified account is just recharacterized as a Roth. This will be a taxable event. Now, in some cases, the custodian will create a subaccount or an additional contract number. A written request to the custodian is usually all that's required. Some of them have their own forms, and you will be signing off, acknowledging that you understand this is a taxable event. Now, some custodians do not allow internal conversions, especially some of the employer plans. They're just not set up to do that. Those that do allow them may have certain restrictions, certain sub-accounts or investment accounts that you're able to use, etc. So if you're going to do an internal Roth conversion, before you decide to do that, I would investigate what the parameters are. Now, if the plan for your client involves future Roth conversions, and you're going to be setting up a qualified account, it's important to know that now you can transfer the entire qualified account over and decide whether you're going to be doing internal or external conversions from that new account. We have some products that allow for internal Roth conversions, but many do not. So again, if you want to move an entire qualified account over into an annuity and you want to do future internal Roth conversions, it's important to know that up front so that we can select the right product. Now, external or Roth conversions with transfers. These are probably the most common. Again, it can be total or partial. If you want to do transfer paperwork to transfer the funds from the existing account, you'll just indicate on that transfer form that the funds are coming from a traditional qualified account and will be going into a Roth account. Now, this should be clearly noted on the percentage or the dollar amount that you're planning to move. If you mark the wrong box and they do a complete Roth conversion or a complete transfer, it can really mess up their tax planning. Again, any portion moved over will be a taxable event. You can also use the 60-day rollover provision. If they take a withdrawal from one of their qualified accounts, they can then do the rollover into a Roth account. It's still a taxable event, but in this case, you can avoid that 10% penalty tax if that's a concern. And it would be a concern if you're starting the conversion process prior to the client being 59 and a half. Now, if the current plan is an employer-sponsored plan, such as a 401k or a 457 or a defined benefit plan, make note of the mandatory withholding provisions. They're going to withhold 20% for federal taxes. And in order to roll over the entire amount, the client will have to make up that portion. So we do not usually recommend 60-day rollovers for any type of qualified transfer from an employer-sponsored account. Some good practices when you're doing paperwork for any annuity, but especially with transfers. Keep good records of the visit with your client. And again, make note of how this Roth conversion fits with the overall financial plan. When you're dealing with qualified dollars, you're under the best interest standard. And it's very important that you document clearly exactly why you made the recommendations that you did. For new annuity business, a letter of explanation that states that the client clearly understands that this is a taxable event and how it fits with their overall financial plan will help get it through suitability faster at the annuity carrier. EAP is always the preferred submission for expedited suitability, but if you're going to do this letter of explanation, or if it's coming from an employer plan and you're going to have some wet signatures, we can help you with that. Most of the time you can upload those directly onto the carrier's website through their document upload portal. Some will take that as a fax, and many of them will just want that in the original with the clearly visible wet signatures, and we can help you with FedEx labels or whatever you need for that. Of course, we're always happy to scrub any applications or forms prior to submission to help you with accuracy. And even if you need help writing that letter of explanation, we can help give you some ideas of the verbiage that is usually used in those. But it's important that you write that and that the client sign that. Now, scrubbing can be a little more difficult with EAP if you submit directly, but most of them will give you an option before you send for signatures to download a PDF copy. And if you really want us to take a look at that prior to submission, we can still do that if you will download that PDF and email it over to our new business department. Oftentimes that won't be necessary, as EAPs won't let you submit until all required fields are completed. But if you just want to make sure that everything looks correct and that the suitability information is in the right spots, again, we're more than happy to help with that. Just reach out to us. If you have questions about a certain case, about Roth conversions in general, about the best interest standard, anything like that, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is here on this screen. Usually the direct line down there is the easiest way to get me. You can call me there or even text that number or shoot me an email. We also have the calendar link right there, or go onto the website if you want to schedule a block of time to make sure we're both available at a certain time. We can do a screen share. Just go ahead and click on my calendar link and select the time of your choice. I look forward to working with you. And again, any questions, please let me know. Or if you have ideas for future videos, something you want more information about, send me that as well. I welcome your feedback.